and his number is 600 threescore and 6 or 666. So I was just watching, give me a second. I don't know if I took it down by mistake. I mean, I can always bring it back up. Okay, this is it right here. Let me slide this over. There's a video I was watching, kind of skipped around a little bit in this video. It was put up by Apostle Orion Lob, and the name of the video, the topic is "This Topic Just Keeps Popping Up." It was put up 6 hours ago, so it's put up earlier in the day. But anyway, he was going into this guy, George Laura, which he was a part of putting together the, he was instrumental in the UPC, the Universal Product Code. And it said in the early 70s, so I remember when it came on the scene when I was young, maybe 72, 71. And what happened in 71 was Nixon temporarily, you know, how can I say this, pulled gold off of the gold standard. In other words, there was no more gold standard. And a gold standard means this in the US. Gold standard means prior to 71, prior to Nixon being president, you had a gold standard that went back to during the time of FDR, what is it, Frederick Roosevelt, Francis Roosevelt, Francis Delano Roosevelt, FDR, as he's known by. He had confiscated, he called everybody to turn in their gold and their certificates. And later on, I forget the year, I can look it up, but I'm not going to. He reestablished the gold standard, but when the gold standard came back, no one in the US, like US citizens, could buy gold, because back then people knew that gold was real money. And the paper notes that they had were nothing but receipts to get that gold. And on the note, this gold certificate, it says upon demand, 1 gold coin, 1 ounce, troy ounce of gold. And the same thing went for the silver. You had a silver gold standard and a silver standard. And you had the certificate, and it said $1. And I have that dollar somewhere in the house. And you go to the bank, you give them the $1 certificate, and dollar means weight, measure weight. And they would give you a actual silver ounce. And if you got dimes, if you got quarters, if you got nickels, nickel is made out of nickel, pennies were made out of copper, dimes and quarters were made out of silver. The dimes and the quarters that you have now are not silver. They're overlaid with silver. So if you had 4 silver quarters, you can go to the bank and get 1 silver dollar, or you can give them a silver certificate, or you can give them a gold certificate, which was $20. So at one time, A troy ounce of gold was $20. That same troy ounce of gold fluctuates is about $2,000. So we're going 20, 200, what is it, 2,000? So we're talking 20 times 100. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty good at math, but I'm getting old. 100, uh, uh, 20 dollars times 100 is 2,000. So well, if you had $20 back during the time of the silver and gold standard, you had a lot of damn money. You had what was equivalent to $2,000 a day. That's why back in the day, you know, back I'm talking about during the time of the 20s, let's even say the 30s, you can rent an apartment and it could be $5 a month. You know, a more expensive apartment will be $10 a month. Salaries, if you had a good job, you'd get $10 a week, which is about $1,000. You had the $5 day with Ford. You worked 8 hours, you got $5 for that 8 hours shift, and there was no taxes taken out. You worked a day, you got $5. No taxes, nothing like that. That whole tax thing came from the victory tax. Withholding tax, look it up. It came from the victory tax during World War II, and they taxed the people to for the war effort. And when the war was over, they stopped it. But you know what they did? They kept on going. See, if you don't understand money, you're fucking lost. That's why you don't understand this inflationary period. But anyway, I'm rambling, but sensical rambling. Anyway, so watch this video. He goes into the origins of the UPC. Before that, it goes into international business machines, and then before that, it goes to well, during that time, you had Hitler that he was putting tattoos on these the Jews, the Jews of that time. I'll say it that way, because that's history. And they would have tattoos written with numbers to what, to keep track of them. And then I believe it was 1932 that they came out with the Social Security number, which the Jews had on there. It was a sort of a preliminary Social Security number. So they came up with the Social Security number. This was in America. It wasn't in Russia or Germany or any other place. I know it wasn't in Russia. And it was a tracking thing. So from when this guy came on the scene, he was the one that was instrumental in and I guess he worked with other people, but he was one of the ones instrumental in the UPC code. Okay. Now, to understand the UPC code, when you read if you understand how the finances work, the money system works, especially in this country, because we're in this country, and ultimately around the world. When you go to Revelation 13, verse 18, it speaks about here's wisdom, let them that have understanding count the number of the beast. And it says the name of the beast is what? NATO and the EU. That's the name. The biblical name is the beast. The name that we understand it as is NATO and the EU. America, Canada, all the NATO nations, with the European nation and the EU, European Union, which at first it was called the EEC, the European Economic Community. Economics was in because it's all about money. So if you want to give it a name, the name is the beast. But what do they call themselves? The beast was called the Roman Empire. The beast now is called what? The NATO EU alliance. So if you want to put a name on it, right? The image is the system from ancient pagan Rome. That's why when you go down to DC, it looks like something out of ancient Rome, the architecture, because this is Rome all over again. When you go into the house, which is the Congress, you have the speaker, you have the president, which is the vice president, but the vice president of the US on executive level constitutionally is known as the president of the Congress. And behind them, you have two fasces. What is fasces all about? I'm not going to go into it, look it up. So what is the number? We gave you the name, and now we're going to give you the number. The number is, that's why we said that it's the UPC code. So let me show you that. Can the UPC code be used around the world? UPC codes, barcodes, are by definition universally accepted, so they can be used around the globe. Up until 2005, companies were challenged with making their products with either a UPC if they sold in North America, or an EAN if they sold abroad. The EAN is equivalent to the UPC. The UPC, let's read down, are UPC codes international. These two formats are, this is the UPC and this is the EAN, the same system. But this is covered in Europe. This is covered in America and Canada, and we're going to read that. It said these two formats are predominantly used in their own regions. The UPC is used only in the US and Canada. So if you make a product in the US and you export it to Europe, if you plan on selling it in Europe, you have to get an EAN code. The UPC is used only in the US and Canada, while the EAN is used everywhere else globally. But it's, as you can see, it's the same system. You got the 6, the 6, and the 6. The 6, the 6, and the 6. While the EAN is used everywhere else globally, the UPC stands for Universal Product Code, aka UPC-A, and the EAN stands for European Article Number, aka EAN-13, or International Article Number. So you can manufacture stuff in the US, and if you're planning on selling it, you said these many are going to be sold in the States, in the UPC code, which looks like this, based upon the 666. You're gonna produce half to be sold in the Americas, the US and Canada. The other half is going to be exported to outside of Canada and US. So anywhere else, it says anywhere else globally, they use the EAN, which is the same thing. Just the names are different, but they're identical. The same system. This is a world system. So this is what it means by a 600 threescore 6. That's the number. Anything you pick up in your house that has it, anything you buy that you've been buying for the last, we're talking about the last 50 years, has a UPC on it. If you was in Europe, it would be an EAN. So that's the number. That's what the number, and the number is based off of what? The 3 6s. 6, 6, and 6. 6, 6, and 6. I got a close up, right? The universal product code. Oh, now check this out. Okay, like I said, the computer reads this as a 6, right? Computer reads this as a 6, and the computer reads this as a 6. Look at this. This is the number 6. Look at those lines, those two skinny lines. You have like thick lines and skinny lines combination, but look at the number 6. You see that? You see that? It's the same as this. So why don't they just have the elongated lines and just put 6 there? Because then people think they'll put 1 and 1 together. Oh shit, this is the 666. Here it is again. This is a completely different universal product code. You see the number 6. You see those two lines? You see the same two lines over here. And then you see 3 lines over here. Let's do it. Let's find another one. Sometimes also the computer reads the 3 skinny lines as also a 6. So you got the 6, 6, 6, 0. A 0 is a thick line. And you got 6, which you notice there's 3 skinny lines. And it's also right here. That represents a 6. And see, when we go into the charagma, we know what the hell we're talking about. We give you all the information. Like I said, if you can't see it, you're the Most High, just close your eyes. Or you got a bag to deceive the people. Either or. So that's all I'm going to say. On to the next one. Shalom.